Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today I wanted to quickly talk about the driver rating system in F1 2020 and basically I just wanted to have a look at what ratings the drivers have been given and what that means and who would be a good choice as a teammate as you go through the career mode. So here is the table and I'm going to sort it out in a bunch of different metrics and we'll see who is the best in what areas. So if you sort by overall ratings, you'll see quite nicely, for the most part, the money that or the cost of hiring each driver is roughly equates to their rating. They're sort of in the same order. The only exception to that is Vettel, who has a higher cost than Bottas and Verstappen, despite having a lower rating, but the rest of them are more or less in order. But other than that, obviously the ones you would expect: Hamilton, Verstappen, Bottas, Vettel, Ricciardo, the top drivers in the field. Raikkonen is pretty high on the list, and obviously as you go down to the bottom, Latifi, Giovinazzi, Russell, Magnussen. So yeah, no real surprises there. Actually, slightly surprising to me is Grosjean is quite high on the list, and I'm not saying he's a bad driver, but typically in the F1 games, he has had a pretty terrible AI compared to his teammate Kevin Magnussen. Contrary to real life, where I don't know, personally, I think Grosjean is a better driver, but that's my opinion. But nice to see that he's been given a bit of a boost in this one. But as we move on, the next metric is experience. Obviously, Kimi Raikkonen, top of that list, experience of 98. So obviously, experience will, according to the official post by F1, will give you more resource points from that driver. So obviously, if you want a lot of resource points, Kimi Raikkonen may be a good choice, though maybe he may be a difficult driver to hire. His contract is worth a fair bit of money, and I don't know if they're going to make him sort of difficult to hire because he might be retiring after the first season. I don't know these things, but anyway, another thing to quickly note is that a lot of these numbers are probably going to be fluid and they can change. Experience probably will only go up, but the other things may be able to go down, especially maybe if they spend a year out of the sport and then come back, or if anything like that happens. I don't know. But anyway, I'm pretty sure all these numbers can change once you start the career mode. The next metric is racecraft, and perhaps not surprisingly, Verstappen tops that list with a massive 94, and Leclerc up pretty high, Ricciardo obviously. Esteban Ocon also very high on that list, and on that note, he is a surprisingly cheap driver to hire. And quickly going back to experience, if you want a fairly cheap driver with a lot of experience, I sort of briefly mentioned Grosjean is quite high on the list, and he's at the highest one. That's a $6 million contract. So yeah, that is he's probably a good choice. But back to racecraft, yeah, surprised how high Ocon is on that list, given he's had a year out of the sport, but that's up to Codemasters' interpretation. But again, not surprisingly, a lot of the young drivers towards the bottom of the list: Russell, Giovinazzi, Latifi at the bottom, Magnussen and Grosjean as well. Haas drivers fairly low on the list, but that is that. Next up is awareness, which is how likely a driver is to make a mistake. Valtteri Bottas tops that one with a massive 99, which is already the maximum. Hamilton as well, high on that list, as well as Raikkonen, so the experienced drivers there. But then fourth on that list is Pierre Gasly, which I have to disagree with given the number of mistakes he made in 2019. But anyway, he is again the highest won the highest on the list with a $6 million contract. So again, he may be a good choice if you need a driver that doesn't make too many mistakes. You know what I think we can conclude from this is whoever made up these ratings must be French, because we've got Gasly, Ocon, and Grosjean all looking like good choices so far. But anyway, not predicting any bias, but if you scroll down to the bottom of the list, Giovinazzi, Magnussen, Lance Stroll. Again, I have to disagree, because if there's one thing Stroll doesn't do, it's make mistakes, or not many. Hence why he's got the podium in the 2017 Azerbaijan Grand Prix and the fourth in the German Grand Prix last year. Is he didn't make mistakes when everyone else did. So I really have to disagree with Stroll being so low on the list and being so likely, I guess, to make mistakes in the game. So yeah, I have to disagree with that one. But again, that's up to interpretation. But anyway, that is that. So the last metric that we can look at is just out and out pace, just how fast they are, qualifying, race, etc. And not surprisingly, Hamilton, Verstappen, Vettel, Leclerc, Bottas, Ricciardo, Perez, all at the top of that list. Kvyat as well, looking good. And the top one with a reasonably cheap contract on that list, you have to go quite a long way down, but it is Kvyat, so he may also be a good choice for a fast driver. And unfortunately, again, Latifi at the bottom, and his stats are very, very low, really, in this one. The only thing Latifi has going for him really is awareness, so it seems like he won't be making many mistakes. But yeah, there's a reason why he's got the cheapest contract, and obviously he is the only rookie driver, so it doesn't make sense. But it's kind of unfortunate that we haven't really seen how good he'll be. He could go out and beat George Russell this season, we just don't know. So anyway, that is just about it for all of this. I just wanted to sort of see how they all sort of stack up. And for the most part, other than the few things I've outlined, I do agree with the driver ratings that they've given. But yeah, there's a few sort of outliers that don't really look right. But these numbers may not be final. They could be changed, who knows. And obviously they can change throughout the career mode. I'm pretty sure that will be a possibility with the driver training, etc. And we are also yet to see what the driver ratings of the Formula 2 drivers will be, if they'll be anything like Latifi's, or maybe they'll be even worse, who knows. But anyway, that is just about it for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.